We're going to do a video how to change the squeegee on drift, and firstly, very simple, just these two locking knobs at the back. We're going to just twist those so that they're straight like so, and then the squeegee will just drop out like that. So we can put the machine to one side now and move on to changing the squeegee. A squeegee should have a very sharp edge, because this is what's like cutting into the floor to really dry the liquid. The sharp edge should be all the way to the end. So if you've noticed this has started to round off, if it's worn, or especially rounding off on the ends, then it's time to change your squeegee. And each squeegee blade can be used twice, so you can actually turn them around before you have to actually replace the squeegee for a new one. Very quick and easy to change the squeegee. There's no tools needed. You just twist these locks so that they're straight in the middle, like so. So just twist that on either side, and then you can just push them through to release the squeegee. What you can do then is you can just simply pull off these, and just, you know, be a little bit careful when you're pulling them off, like so. You don't want to break the hooks. So we're gonna pull the front and the back squeegee off. So if we were gonna turn this around, because on the squeegee, you can use both sides. So each blade can be used twice. So you would obviously just flip them around to get the most life out of them. We'll fit this squeegee on first, and we're just going to push this over there, and just make sure that it's all the way underneath the hook. And we're just going to hook the squeegee on. So you can start at the top and just hook it on. And one thing to look out for is just make sure that it's seated underneath. Just make sure that it's straight on the top and on the bottom, and it's fully hooked under, like so. And then you've got another one of those round ones on the end there, so just push it over, and again just make sure it's really hooked underneath there, like so. And it should be fully straight along the top and fully straight along the bottom. And then we're going to do the same on the front squeegee. Push this over here. Again, just make sure it's really snug underneath there, and we're going to hook this on. So there's an example of it not being hooked on properly. So just look out for that it's not like that, and you can just make sure it's hooked under correctly, like that. You need a lot of hooks on the machine, on the squeegee, because there's a lot of drag. The floor is constantly trying to drag it out, and if you didn't have this many hooks, the squeegees would not stay flat, and it wouldn't dry the floor as well. So same again on the front, just make sure that they're all hooked on properly and that it's straight on top and straight on bottom. Okay, now to put this back into the upper housing, it needs to be wet. So you can either run it under the tap so that it's completely wet, or, you know, we're going to use a trigger spray here to wet the squeegee. This is very important, because if you try putting it in dry, it will grip the housing too much, and it might not go in properly. And then take the housing, and you're just going to line this up on top, and then evenly have your hand pressure on evenly. Just push it all the way down, so it's got even pressure all the way along, and then turn those till it snaps. And the way you can just double check it's on correctly, if you look at the squeegee from behind, you should see an even amount of red all the way along. It should look like this, very, very straight and even along the back. And as long as you wet the squeegee first before you insert it, then you'll make sure it's fitted correctly, and then this will dry the floor perfectly. Okay, so to fit the squeegee to the machine, lower this into the slot there. Make sure that this flange is on the outside here, and then this just simply slots on top like that, and then twist those two knobs, and that's it, you're ready to go.